Have you ever stopped to think about a book that sold, what, over 30 million copies? Still shaping careers, conversations.
Yeah.
But then you hear it's been used in, well, everything from boardrooms to really perilous situations.
It's quite the range, isn't it?
It really is. We're diving into a text that's just foundational for understanding human relations. A book that, decades on, still influences how we connect. Today, our mission is to unpack Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And look, this isn't just some dusty old self-help guide.
Not at all.
It's a phenomenon. It really changed the game for thinking about communication influence. So let's unpack this. We'll explore its surprisingly accidental origins.
Right.
Get into the practical advice, look at how it was received, the good and the, well, controversial and its lasting impact.
And it's a dive worth taking because, like you said, this book didn't just sell well. It practically invented a genre, redefined self-help. And it still offers these deep insights, into communication, influence. It makes you think not just about what it teaches, but maybe the psychology behind it, and crucially, how these powerful ideas get used out there.
For good or bad sometimes.
Exactly. It's a lens on human interaction then and now.
It's amazing how it even came about. Carnegie had been running these popular business courses in New York since 1912, way before the book.
Yeah, for a long time.
But the book itself, the story is kind of strange, almost an accident, wasn't it? Like a publisher just sits in a class and goes, this has to be a book.
It pretty much happened like that. Back in 1934, Leon Shimkin, he was with Simon & Schuster, took one of Carnegie's 14-week courses.
Okay.
And he was just, well, blown away by how practical it was, how it actually changed the way people interacted, spoke in public. He basically insisted they capture it.
Wow.
Yeah, he talked Carnegie into letting a stenographer sit in, take detailed notes right from the lectures. These notes, kind of raw, were then polished up, revised, and became the book. It wasn't like written in isolation.
It was born from experience.
Exactly, distilled from live teaching.
That's such a unique start for a bestseller. And then the success, I mean, it wasn't gradual, was it? It just exploded.
Oh, immediately. It's fascinating. The first print run, maybe 5,000 copies, sold out super fast, which led to, get this, 17 editions in its first year alone. 17.
That's incredible.
It hit the New York Times bestseller list late 36 and just stayed there for 2 solid years. Unheard of for that kind of book back then.
And the way they marketed it was pretty brilliant, almost like early social proof.
Totally. Shimkin didn't just wait for reviews. He sent 500 copies out to people who'd already taken the course.
Ah, smart. Like a little reminder.
Yeah, and that alone brought in orders for 5,000 more copies, forced them to ramp up printing like crazy.
Wow.
And they leaned into endorsements hard, a full-page ad in the Times, with quotes from Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, big names talking up human relations skills.
Leveraging authority. Still works today.
Absolutely. And that appeal, it hasn't really stopped. Over 30 million copies worldwide now. Still selling, what, 250,000 every year?
It's gold. It's amazing.
It shows how timeless that need for connection, for better communication really is. I mean, Time magazine put it on their 100 most influential nonfiction list in 2011.
Right.
And a Library of Congress survey in 2013 ranked it the 7th most influential book in American history. That's huge for something based on lecture notes.
It really is. Speaks volumes about the core human needs it taps into. Okay, so let's get into the real substance, the practical action book stuff Carnegie laid out. This is where it gets good. He starts with fundamental techniques in handling people. These sound simple, but putting them into practice, that's the challenge.
It always is.
First, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Second, give honest and sincere appreciation. Third, arouse in the other person an eager want. Simple list, huge implications.
Simple, yes, but think about how much they push against our natural reactions. We want to point out flaws, right? We want to criticize. We want to push our own thing. It's true.
Carnegie's saying, hold on. He's asking us to basically rewire our social defaults. His big insight was, we're not dealing with creatures of logic.
Right, creatures of emotion.
Exactly. Bristling with prejudices, motivated by pride and vanity. He got that criticism is pointless, even dangerous. It wounds pride, makes people resentful, defensive, shuts down the conversation.
It really does.
It reminds me of that Thomas Carlyle quote, "A great man shows his greatness by the way he treats little men." It's about respecting that emotional reality in everyone.
That's such a key point. We forget it so easily in the moment. So, if criticism is so tricky, what's a common mistake people still make giving feedback, even knowing this.
Oh, easily it's jumping straight to the fix.
Yeah.
Going right to here's what you did wrong without acknowledging anything positive first. Like the effort, the intention, something.
Instead of maybe, hey, I see the work you put in here, appreciate that. One thing we could maybe tweak is that little bit of appreciation up front, it just lowers the defenses.
Yeah.
Opens the door instead of slamming it. Validates the person first.
I can definitely see that. And building on that opening doors, he then gives us 6 ways to make people like you. This is where some of the most famous advice lives. Stuff that sounds obvious, but again, hard to do consistently.
So true.
Like become genuinely interested in other people. Seems basic.
Right.
But how often do we really truly listen without our own agenda creeping in?
Rarely. Genuine curiosity is scarce. And beyond that, he talks about smiling. Not a fake smile, but real warmth. And remembering names. He says a person's name is, to them, the sweetest sound. Using it. That's a massive sign of respect. It says, I see you.
Oh, the name thing.
Yeah.
Guilty. I walk into a room, meet someone, 5 minutes later, blank. It takes real conscious effort.
It does. But it works. And critically, he says, be a good listener. Encourage them to talk about themselves.
Shift the focus.
Yes. Talk in terms of their interests, not yours. And finally, make the other person feel important. And this is the clincher. Do it sincerely.
Not just flattery.
No, that backfires. It has to be genuine recognition of their value, their contribution, something real.
Okay, so we've got handling people, making them like you. But sometimes you do need to change someone's mind.
Right.
You've got a point, but you don't want a war. How does Carnegie suggest navigating that? That's his 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking.
Right. This is all about influence without antagonism, maybe the most famous one. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it.
Just sidestep it entirely.
Pretty much, because nobody really wins an argument. He also stressed showing respect for the other person's opinions. Critically, never say, you're wrong.
Ooh, that's a hard one. The impulse is strong.
It is. But saying you're wrong just triggers defenses instantly. They stop listening. Game over.
What if you are wrong?
Admit it, quickly, emphatically. It's incredibly disarming, shows humility, builds trust.
Makes sense.
Other big ones. Always start friendly. Let the other person talk more, satisfy the need to be heard.
Listening again.
Always listening. And this one's clever. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs.
Plant the seed.
Sort of. Guide them to it, maybe. People champion ideas they feel they own. It bypasses resistance because it becomes self-persuasion.
That's a really different way of thinking about it, moving from confrontation to collaboration. It makes me think about what Carnegie saw as the real secret of success. He put it pretty plainly, didn't he?
He did. The ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own.
Simple statement, but how hard is that in reality?
It's maybe the hardest skill. Requires real empathy. Setting your own stuff aside and trying to genuinely walk in their shoes. Most of us know our own view really well.
Right.
And we try to hammer it into others. Carnegie flips it. Understand them first. Then influence becomes possible because it starts from understanding, not opposition.
Yeah, that foundation of understanding.
Yeah.
Which flows perfectly into his ideas on leadership. His section, Be a Leader, How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment, takes these principles and applies them directly.
Exactly. It's about inspiring change, not forcing it. So, rule 1, start with praise and honest appreciation. Again, open the door gently. Then, if you need to point out a mistake, do it indirectly. Soften it. Maybe you might consider. Or what if we tried, not just that's wrong?
Less confrontational.
Way less. And a really powerful one, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing someone else.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. It works, doesn't it? It makes you seem human.
Totally. Lowers defenses, creates common ground. He also said, ask questions instead of barking orders. It encourages thinking, participation, less resentment.
Gives people agency.
Right. And crucial for any leader. Let the other person save face. Never shame them publicly. Finally, praise every little improvement. Use encouragement constantly. It builds confidence, motivates. These aren't just nice things to do. They tap into basic human needs, respect, autonomy, feeling valued.
It's also interesting how the book itself changed over the years. That 1981 revision, it cut sections, updated the language.
Yeah, streamlined it a bit, went from 6 sections down to 4, updated anecdotes to feel more current.
Yeah, what got cut tells its own story, gives some historical context.
For sure. One really interesting part dropped from the 36 original was called Letters That Produced Miraculous Results.
Oh, what was that about?
It basically broke down how to phrase requests to appeal to someone's vanity. like using "do me a favor" instead of a direct ask to make them feel important and more likely to comply. Maybe a bit too nakedly manipulative for later tastes.
Could be. And wasn't there also a whole section on marriage or home life?
Yep. 7 rules for making your home life happier. Included things like don't nag, don't try to make your partner over, don't criticize. Themes we see elsewhere, but also give honest appreciation, be courteous, and kind of surprisingly, read a good book on the sexual side of marriage.
Wow, okay. Definitely shows a shift in how that kind of advice gets packaged in self-help today.
Absolutely. And it ties into the mixed reception the book got even early on. It was flying off shelves, serialized in Reader's Digest, huge popular success.
But not everyone loved it.
No. The New York Times in 1937 gave it what they called balanced criticism. They saw the value, the insights, but worried it was maybe too simple. That charm shouldn't replace actual knowledge or expertise, a hint of suspicion about people's skills being enough.
And then there were harsher critics. Sinclair Lewis, the novelist, he apparently tore into it.
Oh, yeah, famously scathing, said Carnegie taught people to basically smile and bob and pretend to be interested. Precisely so that you may screw things out of them.
Ouch. So pure manipulation in his view.
Pretty much, accusing it of promoting superficiality and sincerity. And some academic reviews, initially just descriptive, later got more critical too, same theme. Is this genuine connection or just effective manipulation?
But the sales kept climbing.
Yeah.
Even bizarrely, in Nazi Germany.
It's wild, right? The Times noted that. Said Carnegie would rate butter higher than guns as a means of winning friends, which was, the complete opposite of the official Nazi view.
Wow.
It just shows how universal those core principles felt, even across totally different, even hostile ideologies.
So thinking about the long haul, what's the real legacy here?
Yeah.
It clearly kicked off the modern self-help movement, right?
Undeniably, it's one of the absolute cornerstones. Almost every self-help book that came after borrows something style, structure, principles from Carnegie's blueprint. It really was path-breaking.
And the individual impact stories are amazing. Warren Buffett took the course at 20, still has the diploma in his office. That says something.
It really does. Clearly stuck with him.
And it wasn't just business types. Donna Reed, the actress, she credited reading it in high school back in '36 for helping her get the lead in the play, Become Campus Queen, graduate top 10.
Wow.
Shows how broadly applicable people found it, just for navigating life and achieving goals.
But then you get to the darker side, the double-edged sword aspect we touched on.
Right. Because the principles work, regardless of intent.
Exactly. Which leads to the really uncomfortable examples. Charles Manson reportedly used techniques he learned from the book in prison to manipulate his followers.
Chilling.
It is. And then, on the complete flip side, you have LDS missionaries kidnapped in Russia in '98. They apparently used strategies from the book trying to build rapport, gain leniency from their captors.
Using the same tools for survival, not harm.
Precisely. It just highlights that the techniques themselves are powerful psychological tools. Their effect depends entirely on who's using them and why. They're neutral but potent.
It's proof Carnegie really tapped into something fundamental about human nature, for better or worse.
No question. Effective whether your goal is connection or control.
So there we have it, our deep dive into how to win friends and influence people. From that almost accidental start to global phenomenon to these really complex, sometimes troubling applications, it's quite a journey for one book.
A truly enduring text.
As you've been listening, what stands out to you? Which of Carnegie's ideas really hit home or maybe made you pause? Are these things you already do, maybe instinctively, or things that feel, well, surprisingly hard to implement?
And maybe a final thought to chew on. The title is about winning friends and influencing people. But does mastering these techniques make your connections more authentic? Or just more effective? Does deep skill in these areas bring you closer to genuine understanding? Or does it risk becoming a performance? That's something for you to think about as you navigate your own relationships, your own influence in the world.